Welcome back, guys, to Factorio 2.0, Factorio Space Age with me, Massive Dynamic. We are starting off here on Novice to take a look around and play with my new toy. I've got the new mech armor, and it's pretty cool. You just run around and it automatically jumps, so you don't have to worry about crashing into buildings or things. I haven't used it in combat yet, but I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how that goes. Okay, but that's not the main thrust of this episode. The main thrust, and I use the word thrust because we're going to talk about thrust, is about Fulgora and about quality. Two things that we want to talk about. So first, we're going to take a look at the Voyager. And here's the Voyager traveling back and forth. It's automatically traveling now and delivering our science packs and things. But thrust-wise, yeah, so thrusters are a funny little beast. And as you can see, I put pumps on mine because apparently you get better usage out of your thrusters and your fuel by not just dumping your fuel in. So I've reduced the amount of fuel that it takes me to travel between Novice and Fulgora by at least half. And all I did was add a pump, and I wired it back to the hub there, and it just checks for the speed, velocity, and if velocity is less than 100, then it turns the pump back on. So what that does is, instead of using all of the fuel and then having to make more fuel, it uses just a little bit more than half to make the trip. It does the same on the oxygenator. Works exactly the same way. So that's an easy way. You don't need a lot of combinators to make that happen. It's just, you don't need any combinators to make that happen. It's just a pump and a wire. That's all it is to it. Get that to happen. Now, as far as efficiency percentage, I don't know where that is. I don't know why that doesn't show up on mine. I don't see it anyway. But anyway, I don't know what the efficiency percentage is, but I know that it doesn't use as much fuel, and it just maintains the speed. Now, also, I added a trigger on my schedule, and that is this one refined concrete. So I loaded one refined concrete into the cargo bay. As you can see, it's not here right now, and that is because it is sitting out here, right there. You can barely see it in there. Maybe if I turn off alt mode, you can see it. No, you still can't see it. It's sitting in there, waiting for the fuel level. It's reading the fuel level in the tank here, and when that gets above 24,000, it will put that one concrete back in there, and then the ship will take off. So it's looking for, that's the only thing at Novice, is just because it's basically done when it gets here, other than refueling. And at Fulgora, it waits for the cargo, which is electromagnetic science pack. The rest of the stuff is just secondary. Doesn't really matter. I'm not going to wait on that. So it'll travel back and forth on its own and make those deliveries. Now, the other Fulgora rabbit hole is, I'll show you right over here. I needed to pick up a new mine, and when I got there, I didn't have enough mining machines with me. So I designed this little blueprint here, which takes one chest. I'll put one chest of scrap in there, and it will convert all that down and turn it into mining machines, and I'll get about 15 mining machines out of that. Unfortunately, I don't have any way to run it right now while we're talking, but take my word for it, it works. So I have that blueprint made up. It took me a while to get it, figuring out all the intricacies of the wiring to make sure that it processes the right item at the right time. But what it does is it starts off by running all the scrap through first. So it takes a good probably 15 minutes to run all the scrap through, a full chest of scrap, and then it starts converting the other items down and building the mining machines. But it's nice if you just show up and you need a few mining machines and you're short. You can just throw it down and it will craft mining machines for you while you wait as you're doing other things. Also, as you can see, I picked up that new mine over there and this new mine over here, and I've got my spaghetti train track all in. And I left the old base is still running, and it's just supplies base building items. I'll just go back there when I need base building items. So I put a little spur on for a train that I can use to travel around. I was traveling by tank, but the tank's kind of slow. So it's quicker to jump in the tank or the train and just pick a spot and park real quick while I'm out there running around. So that is Fulgora, and oh no, it's not. The real rabbit hole is how, in the last episode I talked about having my sushi belt and how I was making it work, and I finally got it all worked out after a lot of thought, because it was crashing because I was full up on steel, and then I was full up on solid fuel, and then I was full up on concrete, and it was one thing after another. So I finally decided, okay, I have to see what is going on here. So I did a little experiment right over here, and this one I put a full chest of scrap in there, filled that up with scrap, and I just let it run, and this is the results right here. So as you can see, I got 28 low density structures, 31 holmium, and holmium was the thing that was really the problem for me here on Fulgora. So I needed to find out how to get more holmium out of the system, and so I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is the numbers that I got from one full chest of scrap. And then I did some experimenting here with inserter priorities, and apparently no matter what order you put things in over here, when you set priorities, it's always going to come out in this order here. So if you're looking for these 5 items, that's fine, but since you're limited to only 5 items on an inserter filter, you have to do some creative organization of your filters, which is why it took me so long to develop my mining machine blueprint, because the filters kept prioritizing the wrong items. But anyway, back to that. So I was pulling the ice out from my recyclers here, and then I ended up with, I didn't realize it till after I looked at it, but these chests here were all full of ice. So this was stopped up because of that, and these were all full of gears, because gears are so plentiful, and I just couldn't use them all up enough. So what I ended up doing was putting a constant combinator on here on my inserters, because as I talked about in the last episode, I have a randomizer to make sure that I choose random items out of these chests to keep this kind of moving as best I can. But I wasn't getting the holmium out fast enough, so it constantly will take the holmium, especially since it's the rarest of items to come out, well, next to the low density structures. But low density structures are not the issue. Holmium is the real issue. So this way it always takes the holmium out, and then everything else will go randomly into the system. So now that I've got that all fixed, I probably could add like 2 more of these units to this production, maybe when I get the ability to expand the base with foundation, which is a very expensive technology that I don't have yet. Maybe we'll expand the base this way and add a couple more of these things, maybe redesign it a little bit, because this is as wide as my base is right here. But anyway, this is all working as intended right now. It's not up to 100% efficiency where I want it to be, and also we're missing a roboport right there apparently, which I didn't realize, but we'll fix that right now. Put you right there, you're fine. That will work. Okay, and then, oh yeah, this is the other thing that I had to do, was this is an emergency drain the system of items thing. I had a glut, like I said, of steel and gears and blue circuits and green circuits and concrete, all these things I had way too much of. So I designed this little thing so that it takes anything that is above a certain threshold, which is, I think it's 4,000 items, and it will dump them. So these items here are all getting recycled. They're down to, I recycle them down to nothing. I just avoid them so that the system doesn't get clogged up. So now it's not getting clogged anymore, and everything is working just fine here on Fulgora. And then finally we'll look at Volcanus, because in between episodes, this guy right here, well, my mine, where, I think it was over here. Yeah, there was a mine there. Well, it's dried up completely, so Volcano stopped working altogether. And I cannot say that word. I say it different every time, and I can't help it. Yeah, it stopped producing this item here. Yeah, tungsten. That tungsten mine dried up. So I had to build a new mine right here, which is bumping up against this guy's territory. And while I was working on it, he came by and was like right there. Of course, I wasn't there. I was working from the sky, so I couldn't do anything about him. But now that I have my new mech suit, I might go pay him a visit so that we can take the rest of that mine. But that's all working fine for now. Now, what I really want to do is start doing quality stuff. I want to get especially quality military stuff going. And so that's kind of my main focus. I did some remodeling here at Novice. And as you can see, I'm redesigning the trains. I added a stacker here and new train unloads and new smelteries that are all under construction. We're just waiting for the robots to get that done. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the old smelters and we're going to put in a brand new bus right across here as soon as the robots get done building it. That will be the plan. But I really want to get the quality thing going now. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of quality things in my inventory. And I'm going to get started on that. And I think I have actually quality 3 researched, which means that I can add that to my quality production chain, which is of other items. But I think I'm going to do military stuff first. I think I'm going to do turrets. Maybe turrets for the spaceships. Oh, is that the best idea? I'm thinking that's probably a good idea. I may do armor. My armor would be fun to do too, but that would be expensive. Maybe I'll start with turrets and go from there. But anyway, I'll let you know in the next episode. I haven't decided yet. I think that is going to do it for this episode, guys. And I'll let you know what happens in the next episode, how things are going. But thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I hope you come back next time. If you haven't done so yet, please like and share and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.